Hey y'all, it's my review for Married to Medicine, episodes 13 and 14. Trying to catch up, and right after this, I'm going to try to do Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episodes 1 and 2. Look, when I try to travel and everything, it'd be hard to bring my camera with me and continue to film. My mindset when I went to Europe was I really wanted to be immersed in a vacation for once and not have to worry about work, even though I did edit 2 videos while I was there. But filming, I was just like, let me just do everything when I get back. And now it's basically F my life until I get this ish done. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. And they brought the theme song back this week. Y'all already know. Every time, y'all. Also, a little disclaimer, y'all know how in-depth I go with my reviews. When it's 2 episodes in one, I'm gonna do like a little express review just so we can, move along so we can get to the current episode. So the episode opens with Anila and Quad. They're both at Anila's house, and Quad's filling her in what happened at Dr. Jackie's party. If y'all remember, this was 2 weeks ago, right? This is where Heavenly left the party angry because Toya was calling her out on her messiness. And then she also said that Dr. Damon Daddy's penis was big for some odd reason. But yeah, Messy Quad is stirring the pot right now by telling Anila that some of the ladies are skeptical that a robbery actually happened at Anila's. So in this situation, you have Anila being accused of staging a robbery, and you have Toya, on the other hand, accused of having something to do with the robbery. Anyway, Quad is throwing Simone as well as Contessa under the bus for not believing that it happened, or just being skeptical in general. After that, next scene, we're with Jackie and Simone and their husbands, and they're chilling at Jackie's place. They're talking about, all that happened amongst the group. They're just realizing that people aren't getting along, and there's a bunch of infighting. So their solution, a group trip. And where is it gonna be? They're gonna be at Blue Ridge, somewhere where they went, I believe it was their first group trip ever on this franchise, and they showed it was 7 seasons ago. And where is it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Is it in Georgia? Next scene, we're with Anila and her family, and again, I cannot believe this, that she is cooking those kids pizza again. This is the 3rd or 4th episode in a row. Why couldn't she just hire another nanny or something? Like, ain't their dad a doctor? Do they not know nutrition value? Well, he is a cosmetic surgeon, so maybe nutritional health isn't in his realm, but that's crazy that I can notice this. But apparently their old housekeeper / nanny, who only left at the most 2 months ago, is magically coming back. They told her something to get her back. They said they will pay her whatever. If she wants to stay with him, it's fine, on her terms. So then we see in that same scene that, I forgot her name. Damn, I can't remember. But she came back, the kids were excited, and hopefully they will get something besides pizza. Now, for her to come back in that short of time, and for her to be that excited to leave, I remember she scurried out of that driveway, never to come back again. So I'm thinking 2 things. One, I smell a fake plot line. Because Anila, she needed some type of plot line on the show. Or my second theory is maybe the housekeeper left because they weren't paying her enough. And those kids are bad, and it looked like Anila don't like to take care of her kids, so it was probably a 24-hour job, and the money wasn't right. So I'm thinking maybe it was either one of those 2. Y'all let me know which theory y'all think is true, because I don't think she went back to Houston to get things settled with her family. I think they either weren't paying her enough, or they made up that plot line. It was like, oh, girl, you just leave for 2 months and come back. So next, it's the day of Contessa's bodybuilding competition. She lets us know all the things she sacrificed, how miserable she was eating. To me, putting yourself through that, just eating shit that you don't want to, being miserable, getting up at 5 a.m., it's not worth it for me. Just to have a nice body, okay, whatever. I'm happy now, okay? Look, in gay world, we do it just for desirability and for social currency. And I gave up on that. Like, I rely on this face card that doesn't decline and my personality. Anyway, the competition starts and Contessa looks fantastic. She does a great job. It looks like her family's proud of her, even those badass kids of hers. In the audience, you can see how lucky Scott must feel to be married to Contessa. She is a baddie. Like, she has this body after having 3 kids. 3 kids. How does she do it? Also, she actually won the competition. No second runner up, not third place. She won the whole thing. Now, the cynic in me does believe that this whole thing was staged, but you know, I'm a believer because she looked damn good. So after that, next up, we see the ladies all getting ready for Blue Ridge. All of them are attending, including Audra. And then we see a scene of Quad talking to Audra, and Quad has the audacity to say, "Oh, when Toya attacked you." Quad in this revisionist history, like, what does she have against Toya, and what did Toya do to Quad? Because Quad is coming for Toya like really hard, even though Heavenly is the one that said the worst about her. I don't get it. I mean, we even see present day on social media of Quad getting into it with Heavenly, so I don't know. I don't think any of these ladies are actually Quad's friends. As Simone and them are driving up to the cabin, they're worried about all the drama that's going on in the group. And then we get a never-before-seen flashback of Heavenly throwing a drink in Kari's face. I think this was last season. The questionable editing, like, why did they take that out? What was the reason? You know? And honestly, I think the only reason Heavenly threw a drink in her face because she knew that Kari wasn't going to do anything. If she did that to any one of those women, well, I could see her doing that to Anila and not doing nothing, but she did that to any black woman on that cast, she would have been laid the fuck out. I guarantee you. Like, Heavenly is a coward. She's an evil-spirited bullfrog, and I don't see it for her. So both the hosts, Jackie and Simone, they arrive at the cabin. It looks nice. And to avoid unnecessary drama, they take it upon themselves to assign the couples rooms. Because at this point, the group is divided. Like, one group is Simone, Toya, and Contessa, and then the other group is Anila, Heavenly, Audra, and Quad, with Dr. Jackie riding the fence in the middle. So Toya is the first of the other ladies to arrive to the cabin, and Simone and Jackie have a little sit down with her before the other ladies arrive. They're just saying they want positivity on this trip. Good luck with that. And they want her to present a different energy to these ladies when she sees them. Now, I'm hoping all the other ladies gets this same pep talk that Toya is getting, especially Heavenly. And also, just to point out, Toya is the only woman in the group that's beefing with 4 women in the group at the same time. And they're in the same opposing group. So she's beefing with Audra, Heavenly, Quad, and Anila. I would be very shocked if Toya is sitting next to Andy during this reunion coming up. So then Heavenly, Quad, and Audra arrive, and the vibe is a bit awkward, as expected. But later on, Heavenly goes up to Toya and apologizes, surprisingly, for her behavior at Jackie's, and she says she's going through a lot of stress, and Toya, I feel like she has to accept Heavenly's apology. Like, she'll come off as an asshole. I mean, given that Heavenly just lost her mom, and look, I mean, she should give her the benefit of the doubt to anybody who's losing a parent, especially on a reality show where you're in a pressure cooker. So I'm sure any other time Toya wouldn't have accepted, but this one she made an exception. And Heavenly, just like Ramona Singer, you remember her? She'll be at BravoCon too, by the way. She has the title of the apologizer on this franchise. Like, she is constantly apologizing to people for her behavior and just does it again in another episode. Next, with Audra and her husband in their room, and they brought pregnancy tests for her to take because they've been trying to have a kid. Present day, we already know that Audra is 9 months pregnant. Not sure if she had the kid yet, but I'm sure this is the scene where she finds out that she's pregnant. So when they find out that the pregnancy test is positive, of course they're very happy, and I didn't know that she already had a 7-year-old kid. Like, it's just not his kid. So this is their first child together. I'm just confused because the editing led us to believe that this is her first kid. She's becoming a mom for the first time. He even said in that scene when she found out that she was pregnant, "You're going to be a mom." She's already one. That was very confusing to me. But anyway, congrats to them. Later on in the evening, we see Anila and her husband arrive, and Toya looks less than thrilled to see her. Mostly because Anila is responsible for not one, but two rumors circulating about Toya. One being that she's cheating on Eugene, and the other is that she conspired to rob her house. It's just so foul every time I say it. Like, I can't believe she's accusing Toya for setting her up to be robbed. Like, I believe more so that Anila staged her robbery than Toya having something to do with it. Oh Lord, Anila is not worried about security at that house just because there's windows in their room. She's like, where are the cameras? As there's literally a camera in the room filming her. Now see, I was liking Anila in the beginning of this show, and now she's just so annoying. That was very Brown Karen of her. Oh, the security, where are the cameras? So now everyone in the cabin is having dinner together. There's no drama so far until Anila's robbery is brought up. She's saying how she's feeling. She's putting 20 on 10 right now, saying that her daughter is having nightmares every night. I'm wondering, like, her kids weren't even there when the home invasion happened. None of them were. And I think the only way her daughter would know they were robbed is if Anila told her, so I'm confused by that. Anyway, as Anila's telling everyone how she's feeling, she says, I just have one question. Does anyone think that this was a setup? Toya then tells her, girl, I don't know what you would do. I don't know you. And then that's followed by loud, dramatic music, then a to be continued. And that is where the episode ends. And thankfully, we can go right into episode 14. So they open the episode talking about the robbery, and before we get to Toya saying she don't know Anila, we see more of the conversation that wasn't in the last episode. Anila says she feels her house was targeted, the police are currently investigating it, she hired her own PI, and she's also having people take polygraph tests. And then Quad, she says, well, I'll volunteer to take a polygraph test. Why, Quad? Why? I mean, we see what she's getting at. She says her reason for taking one is she wants to be clear that she knows nothing about the situation. We then cut to her confession and she's saying, well, I'd like to see Toya take one. Quad is a dog with a bone right now, and her mission is to destroy Toya at all costs. I think she wants to see Toya locked up. If she had a chance to frame Toya, I think she'd take it. Anila then tells ladies that she felt like she was being interrogated when she spoke to them via FaceTime, and now we're back to where the previous episode left off. We then cut to Heavenly's confessional, who admittedly she had me cracking up when she's saying Anila didn't stage no damn robbery. She need Miss Gomez to help her. Anila can't do anything on her own, child. The shade. The shade of it all. And I don't disagree with Heavenly. Toya then says, anyway, moving on. Quad was like, we not moving on from nothing. Like, Quad is just so determined. Like, Anila's robbery has nothing to do with her. So now her and Toya are going back and forth, and then thankfully Dr. Jackie, she intervenes and then gives the floor back to Anila. Anila then asks Toya, where did their friendship go wrong? And the look on Toya's face is like, bitch, please. And I agree with Toya's sentiments. Things get interrupted when Contessa and Scott arrive. They're greeting everybody. Now, once everyone gets settled, Jackie's on her Ayala right now. The ladies are all seated in the middle of the living room, and she says it's time to resuscitate some relationships. Or as she says, it's time to resuscitate some relationships amongst these ladies. We want to keep the peace. Dr. Jackie is necessary for this show. Like, she's the balance. Even though she's kind of boring, I like her. So they're not ready to address all the ladies' issues, and we start with Toya and Audra's beef. Toya wants to know what Audra really has against her because she's been coming at her so hard. Audra tells her it's the slick comments that she was told in the beginning by her, and admittedly, yeah, she came for Audra first, but then Audra was on a mission to come for Toya every time she saw her, no matter if Toya started it or not. So then the conversation takes a very unexpected turn, and we get a very real moment from Toya reflecting on the fight that put Married to Medicine on the map, in my opinion, of her fight with Mariah next to the pool. Like, oh, come on, bitch, come on. As they almost both fell into the pool. She's saying how that fight made her feel. She was in a very low place. She says while crying that she never wants to go to that place again with somebody. And I'll admit, it's very genuine. And Toya in this moment takes ownership for her part in their beef, and she apologizes. Even Audra gets emotional by this, and we cut to her confessional, and she says she believes that Toya's apology is genuine. I'm very proud of Toya in this scene. Like, that was actual growth on her part. Unfortunately for her, though, this is only one of the 4 beefs that are solved. Well, the second beef was with Heavenly, and Heavenly apologized. So, okay, that's 2 of the 4 beefs that are squashed with Toya. After that, we're now on to Contessa and Heavenly's beef. And before they can even get into it, Contessa's like, I had a long work day. I'm tired. I can let it go. So they put a pin in the conversation and they ended there for tonight. We're now on to the next day, and it looks like the men are out doing their thing. They're going bowling, and the ladies are staying behind at the house. I don't know why the cameras are following the men, as if I'm not going to fast forward right through that scene. We're back at the house now, and it looks like Jackie organized a spa day for the ladies. We're with Toya, Audra, and Anila, and they're cordial right now. And Anila wants to talk to Toya now about their fractured friendship. Toya points out to Anila that she brought her friend to Quad's party who started that rumor knowing that it wasn't true. And now Anila is switching gears and saying that Quad was the one that invited her friend in the first place, and that's why she brought her. Anila even goes to say that she was set up, throwing her good friend Quad under the bus now. I'm just wondering, how is Toya making all this sense? She says she can't continue to allow Anila to play this naive role because she definitely played a part, as well as Heavenly, in perpetuating the rumor. We even see in the flashback, thanks to production, of Anila and her friend, and she knew what she was doing when her friend had that information about Toya. It's not looking good for you, Anila. Sorry, girl. I don't know how Toya made you look bad. So now we get to talking about the robbery situation, and it is amazing to me how now Anila is backpedaling and pussy popping on what she thought about Toya's involvement. She really allowed Quad and Heavenly to put a battery in her bag to do their dirty work, because this is a complete 180. It's crazy to me because the reason why Toya and Anila aren't friends in the first place was because Toya was a mean, controlling bitch to her in Anila's first season. Pepperidge Farm remembers. So it's funny to me how Anila allowed herself to be in the wrong and is now crying for Toya's friendship back. So then they both apologize to each other and hug it out. So now that's 3 of the 4 of Toya's beefs that are squashed. She's making some progress. Lord, they are really forcing the husbands on us this episode, much like the husbands from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So now they're discussing the robbery drama amongst themselves, and Kieran is irritated that he and his wife are being accused of staging a robbery, and Eugene is irritated because he and his wife are accused of orchestrating that robbery. It's all ridiculous, honestly, because neither women are smart enough to do so of what they're being accused of. So we're back at the house, and we see Toya drop a load of dishes on the floor in these people's Airbnb. It looks like she or Eugene will be writing a check before they leave the house. We then see the spa treatments begin, and Contessa is just being very overtly sexual around the ladies. She has 2 of the women rubbing her feet, and she even accidentally flashes her vagina to the group. Is Contessa trying to tell us something? If you ask me, she's been trying to tell us something a long time ago. Next scene is later on in the evening. Everyone's having dinner together, and the topic of conversation at the table is Eugene and Toya's sex life. It was brought up because it seems like Eugene has not had any on this couple's trip. It's then followed by a judgmental commentary by the other couples in their confessionals. So then Jackie and Simone say they have a surprise for the rest of their group that involves them helping the other couples have a better sex life. Gee, I can't wait to see that. And that is where the episode ends, y'all. I mean, at least it wasn't to be continued. But that was a good 2 episodes. I mean, again, Married to Medicine is a very underrated show on Bravo. I'm sure it's going to have another season. Anywho, next week is the season finale. It looks like Quad and Toya go at it, as well as Contessa and Heavenly. The reunion, I'm sure that's going to be 2 parts. It better be. Also, on an unrelated note, I just saw the ratings for the Real Housewives of Potomac come in, and it's surprisingly low. It's like a zero point 0.7, so I think it's like 780,000. For all the marketing and all the excitement I saw on social media, I would think it would have been at least 1 million to like 1.1, but pretty low, and it was lower than Atlanta's debut for their season. It kind of sucks because Potomac is the better franchise right now, and it was a decent premiere. So hopefully the numbers grow for Potomac. We shall see next Sunday. Anywho, y'all let me know what y'all thought about these 2 episodes that I reviewed. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.